The first question that I have came from yesterday's BloodHound workshop. So it's a continuation, all right? So in yesterday, we built the signals here, from this Ichimoku system. And so today we're going to address the order submissions here, all right? All right, there we go. So we got the Ichimoku indicator. And so now let's go into our strategies list and then go into the strike indicators folder. There is BlackBird, so let's load it on here, and just remember to enable your strategy, all right? And we'll click OK. All right, let's take a look, at what order settings we're going to use in BlackBird here. The buy order, right, is put above the highest high of the last 9 bars. All right, and so if it was a short, then it would be right at the lowest low of the last 9 bars. And then let's see, the stop loss is when price closes below. I'm not sure how they're placing a stop loss at price crossing a plot line. So this actually, the way this is phrased, this actually needed to be an exit signal built within BloodHound. So obviously you can't place a stop loss, at some kind of crossing of price and an indicator. That's a condition, that's not a price, right? So you need a price when you're placing a stop loss. And price crossing an indicator is not a price value. It's a condition. So let's see here. We'll get back to this in, there might be, since we don't have an exit signal for this, this condition here actually should have been created as a BloodHound exit signal to do it exactly as it's written. But we can come up with a little substitute here, an alternate way to kind of address this. All right, so let's create the entry order first here. Let's open up the order settings here and get BlackBird open. All right, so the first thing we need to do is, load in these BloodHound signals here. And so next step is to load in the BloodHound file or the template file. So we'll hit the 3 little dot button here, the ellipses button. All right, and there we go. There's the BloodHound interface. We'll click open, and there is yesterday's workshop file. So let's load that in. All right, and a little tip here for a good practice, good habit to get into is always take a look at your logic board and make sure all the leaders look like they're connected up correctly, right? Just take a quick look, make sure that you didn't accidentally, leave it like this, when you were testing something, okay? So always make sure that everything looks like it's all connected up correctly as you intended. So, all right, then once that's done, click OK. All right, so now let's select our entry signal. So this is going to be the Ichimoku signal here. And of course, that stop loss condition should have had an exit signal for it, and then we would have selected the BloodHound logic template, that would have been those exit signals. So, but, we didn't get that done yesterday, so we'll just leave that unchecked and we can just click off. All right, let's pull this back up here. Okay, so buy is right above the highest high of the last 9 bars. So that would be a stop entry order, right? So let's select stop entry. And then we will go open the order up and go into the initial placement, right? And so the mode is already set to price. And so what we want to do is we want to find the highest high. So we need to look at the high prices of the last 9 bars. So we're going to set our look back period to 9. So we're looking back 9 bars. And then the processing is we want to find the maximum value, right? The maximum value would be the highest high of the last 9 bars. And let's see here. Oh, we have an offset, so let's get rid of this. I guess we'll leave the offset at 1. You know, 1 tick above the highest high of the last 9 bars, because this says that the buy order is put above the highest high, right? So there you go. So I'll just set it to 1 tick. It doesn't say how far above the highest high, but just above. So, you know, so if you want it 2 ticks above, then obviously just, you know, adjust your offset here. So we'll leave it at 1 tick like that. All right. And that's it. So we're done. That is our entry order right there. No profit target was mentioned, so we'll leave that blank. And so for the stop loss, since we don't actually have an exit signal, so if we actually had a BloodHound exit signal to detect when price crosses below the Kijun line, you know, then we wouldn't need a stop loss, right? You would just, again, as I said before, you would just use this exit signal, right? And that would close out the trade. But since we don't have those exit signals, then what I'll do is, you know, let's say I'll just use something like, let's do something interesting here. So we'll go down to the trailing, and we'll use this trailing with a break even +1. All right, so that seems to be a very popular option with traders, is to have a break even kind of trailing stop loss, right? And also, I'll make this a little more interesting. And so for the initial placement here, right, instead of it being just a simple 10 tick stop loss, right, to start as a starting point, let's see, let's do this. I'm gonna set the offset in ticks to 0, and I'm gonna set up an ATR based offset. So let's select the ATR indicator. All right, I'll just leave it on a 14 period, and I'll make this basically a 2 ATR stop loss, right? So we're taking, you know, a long factor here of -2 and multiplying the ATR times -2, right? And that creates our offset distance from the entry price, right? So this is basically this stop loss is going to start off as a 2 ATR stop loss, right? And then if we switch over to the trailing actions here, so here is our break even, right? So this stop loss is going to move to break even after 10 ticks of profit. And then it's going to trail, but I'm actually going to remove the trailing. All right, there's no mention of any trailing here. I'm going to remove that and, you know, add a trailing rule that's going to look for price crossing below the Kijun line. All right, so we're going to hit add trailing rule, right? Use the add trailing rule button here. And let's give this a name here, right? So we're going to basically, this isn't, right? So this number 7, it's not a stop loss, it's a flatten command, right? So basically, we're going to flatten the trade when price crosses over the Kijun line there. All right. So to detect a crossover like this, or, well, actually, we're not detecting a crossover. It's just what we can do is detect when price goes below some kind of indicator plot. So let's go to our triggers. And the trigger that we're going to use is price versus indicator. Right there. So it matches exactly what we're doing here. Price versus an indicator. All right. So we'll use the closing price of the bar, and then for input B, that'll be our Ichimoku indicator here, and we'll select the Kijun line. So let's open this up, and we can see here in our indicators list, let's go into lizard indicators, right? So this BloodHound template was built using a lizard indicators indicator. Let's find the Ichimoku. Let's see where it's a little further down. There we go. So it's the AMA Ichimoku. Let's see, Kinko Hayo. I think that's how you say it. So, all right. So we select our indicator. And don't forget, if you are using modified settings for the Ichimoku indicator, don't just remember to, adjust those periods here within BlackBird so it matches, whatever shift or whatever period that you're using of your Ichimoku on the chart, right? You always want your indicators on the chart, the settings for your indicators on the chart, right, to match what you're using within BlackBird, and also, BloodHound as well, of course. So, all right, so we got that. So next, let's select the Kijun Sen line, like so. All right, that's that. Next, we need to take a look at the modes here. So for a long, we're looking for price to go below the Kijun. So for a long, this actually says A equal or above B. But no, we want A to be below B. So let's change that out. A below B, right? What is A? Remember, A is the closing price and B is our indicator, right? So we want price to be below the indicator. And then for a short, it's going to be the opposite, right? So let's just select A above B. So, right, make sure these are opposite of each other. And there we go. So that's the condition that we're looking for. All right. Now, the action is we're not actually going to move the stop loss. What we want to do is flatten the position. Right, there we go. So we can look for the close of the bar to go below the Ichimoku Kijun line and then flatten the position. Okay, and of course, if you flatten your position, you can't repeat that, right? So the repeat, you just leave it on none because you can't repeat this trailing roll. This trailing roll is just a one-time action, obviously. So, right. All right, so there we go. So there's kind of, one workaround to not having the BloodHound exit signals, to exit this. So, all right. So that's it for this one. There, we're done. Well, I'm not going to be able to generate any trade signals from the BloodHound template. So I'll just have to use the chart trader buttons here. But first, if you see this message down here, BlackBird is asking to reload the chart so that it can load BloodHound onto the chart. So let's go down here and we'll reload our chart. There we go. And so we can now, you'll notice, right, there's the BloodHound buttons on the top of our chart, and it's in blue, right? So the blue button means that this is BloodHound running inside of BlackBird, right? So let's go and select our logic template here, the Ichimoku logic template. There. All right. Yeah, we're not going to see any signals here. So what I'll do is just, we'll just manually place a trade here. So if we go long, right, yeah, we wanted to make sure that our stop entry order is above the highest high of the last 9 bars. So we got, let's see, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, wow. So this high point here was the 9th bar back. And we can see our stop entry order, was 1 tick above the high of that. So, all right. Let's see here. Where? I am not seeing my stop loss. Let's check the orders tab here. All right, so that is our entry. Oh, yeah, of course I don't see a stop loss because our entry order hasn't been picked up yet. All right, so let's go. Let's move the market up here. Move the market up, get that entry order hit, and then check our stop loss. All right, just a few more ticks. There we go. All right, so there's our stop loss, right? 2 ATRs below. And now, as soon as price, reaches 10 ticks of profit, we'll see our stop loss move to that break even +1. Let's see, that was 8 ticks, 9, almost there. And there's 10 ticks. Bingo. Stop loss moved up. All right. Well, and let's see. So the red line is the Kijun. So, yeah, I can't get, I won't be able to pull price below the Kijun without hitting the stop loss. So, yeah. So, let's see here. Well, no. All right. I'll just move the market up. Yeah, we'll just move that market up full steam ahead. And hopefully, yeah, the Kijun line will keep moving up. Let's just wait a couple more bars just for good measure. All right, let's pull the market down, and we'll get a bar to close below the Kijun line here. And there we go, flattened out. All right, great.